Hey guys, Nicole here with Obscure Reptiles and Caging, and today I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know about ReptiChip. So let's get started. Hey, so when you guys purchase this is how it comes. It's packaged pretty tightly in this small container. It's actually pretty heavy for being so small, and this is what's going to swell up when we add water to it. Rule number one, don't add warm water. You'll see later in the video that's what I did. Was using the wrong hose. Sometimes it happens, but you can still save it even if it does get too wet. I filmed that the other day, and this right here is the bedding from the other day. I used about half of it because I went through and cleaned absolutely everybody, but as you can see, it held a little bit of the moisture, but it's nice and dry compared to what it was. But I just like to give it a nice mix. I leave it in a big bin or a big tub like this just to make sure air gets to it. If you don't touch it at all, it could mold. Anything can mold if you keep it warm and wet, so I just like to mix everything around. Sometimes the stuff at the bottom's a little bit more damp, so that gives it time to dry out a little bit, and then like my cleaning video shows, at any time you guys can still spray it down, give it a good mist if you're trying to raise humidity, or a really good trick if you're trying to raise up humidity in an enclosure. All you have to do is move the water dish from the warm or from the cool side, put it on top of the hot spot. That's going to raise the humidity because it's sitting on the warm side. So that's just a quick little tip, but yeah, this is what it looks like. You can buy it directly from ReptiChip. Anyone local to Buffalo, we do carry it pretty often. I almost always have it in bulk, so if anyone needs it, but it's a really good thing, especially if you're trying to breed. 1 or 2 pet snakes, it's not as big, but if you're a breeder or you're trying to breed, this is what you would definitely want. Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different since I was almost running out of bedding. I decided we'll do a little cleaning video for you. I got it sped up so it's only just a couple of minutes, but that way you guys are able to see the cleaning process and what I like to do. The ReptiChip makes it really easy, especially with the amount of humidity it holds. But basically all I do is I spot clean every couple of days. Every 2 to 3 days we spot clean every single bin, and when we do that we make sure we're checking on the snake. We're looking at how much water's in there, if their water's dirty, how dry the bedding is, stuff like that. The yellow bottle you just saw, that's our mister, so we're spraying down each bin a little bit because the bin or the bedding in the bins is a little bit drier. And I apologize, the only sink that we have up there to clean the water dishes is behind the camera, so I have to walk back there. But it makes it super easy, especially with everything in there being plastic too. Even the hides, they just wipe off, and the water dishes, they do get dirty, but we're able to pull out most of the bedding, wipe it down, clean it with some F10, and then just put a little extra bedding, spray it in, and then you're all set. But we also like to weigh all of our females. As you can see, the bin in the front is sitting on a scale, especially in breeding season, which is what we're getting up to again pretty quickly. Around November is when I like to start to cool everyone down. We're going to be doing some breeding videos from start to finish for you guys, but we like to keep a really good eye on our animals and how much they weigh, because they have to be maintaining and growing each season. Because if, for example, you have a female that's 2,000 grams, she has eggs, the next year she's 1,800 grams, and you know she's been feeding or not really eating very well for you, that's not an animal you're going to want to breed. You're going to want to make sure she's at least the weight she was, or if you're doing everything right, she should be at least a little bit more. For example, that's the albino pied girl we're pulling out. She was 2,600 grams when she still had all of her eggs in her, and now it's been 2 months later because her eggs are about to start hatching, and she's around 2,300. So she's already almost back there, and she still has quite a few months to go. We like to feed them nice and slow, but we do definitely want to see that they're actually growing in weight and not going down or staying the same. But because she's so much bigger, she does use the bathroom a lot more, so that's a full clean you're seeing me do. I'm going in with the F10 spray, disinfecting everything, wiping everything down, and giving her a whole new thing of bedding. Just a little quick cleaning video for you guys. We only had enough bedding to do a couple of the bins, so that's just a couple of them. But hope that helps. Hope you guys enjoy, and we'll get to the ReptiChip here in a second. Okay guys, so this is the ReptiChip. I'm going to show you exactly how to swell it up. As you can see, we already did a bag. We used warm water accidentally with our warm hose, so it's a little bit wet. So I'm going to make this version a little bit dry to mix them together. A lot of people overdo it when they're doing this, just like you could easily do right here. Even when it's waterlogged like this, you can still save it. You do a little bit drier version, you mix them together, and then every day you're going to just give it a mix. Within a couple of days, it'll be dry enough to be able to use for your snakes. So I'm going to show you what we did. We're going to do it the right way this time. Cold water. Okay. You pull this out, and you're going to hold it for 10 seconds each side and flip it. I'm going to do a couple seconds less because I'm trying to save some wet stuff, but you're going to see it start to swell. You push down. And then you give it a flip. Most of it stays pretty good together. And then you flip again and you set it. The water is going to keep swelling upward and the water is going to go down into it. So if we pull it apart like right now without letting it sit, you can see it still looks pretty dry in the middle. But by leaving it sit, especially with all this wetter stuff, it'll absorb it. See how it's still dry right there? You just break it apart. Get to that drier bit. Yeah, super dry in the middle, but that's okay because I've got some pretty wet stuff in here. Make sure you break it apart. When you're using this stuff, you want to check through it. Sometimes there'll be little pieces of paper shredding or even little pieces of plastic I've found with all these cocoa husk things. You're going to find that. Normally they're all pretty small little things. You can even get shaker tables that'll shake out the small dust that's in this, but I don't really notice it being too much of an issue, especially because it's wet. Sometimes you'll find little things in here. Just make sure you, when you're breaking it apart, you just give it a good look over. This much will last me about 2 or 3 months with the amount of animals I have, so it really goes a long way. There's a couple other brands, but I just really enjoy this one. I really haven't found too much problem with it. It's really easy to work with, and it never really molded on me. We're going to mix all this and then we're going to refill, or we'll show you the end result. Alright, as you can see, it's all fully mixed up. It looks a little different because it's in the shade, but that's ready to go. The first batch, like I said, was a little wet. The second one was a little bit dry, so by mixing them, this is perfect to go in the enclosure. And just to show you, that's all that really gets wasted. You can actually skim that out and still use it, but when you actually do this, you get barely any waste. So this right here is a 110 bin, 110 quart Sterlite bin, and that's how much bedding this fits. That's 2 bags, and that's going to last quite a while. But now that everyone's pretty much cleaned up, except this girl. So this is what the bins normally look like after this was maybe 2-3 days of not cleaning. They do knock the food, or they do knock the bedding into the water dish, but it doesn't really affect it. It just kind of makes it look a little dirty. So I like to take all these out and clean them. And save this bin for you guys because I'm pretty sure she did just about everything. Yep. So as you can see, hold on. Take her out of the way. Hi, little girl. Just gonna poke her up here. As you can see, she did just about everything she could do in here. She had a shed right here. And I want to show you guys, it's always a full shed because of how much humidity this can actually hold. There's a little bedding in it, but it was one solid shed. And when they do use the bathroom, like how it is back there, it's all pretty much stuck in that one area. You can see that it's not really any different color on the sides, so you're going to be able to just scoop that out and take it out and clean up the water dish. Some knock it in the bedding in the water dish more than others, but this is really all you have to do for spot cleaning. So I'll get a glove on, I'll scoop this out, I check all over just to make sure there's nothing else, like right here. It's a small urate, so I'll pull that out too. Hold on, she's trying to escape. But I'll pull all that out, and then because it is pretty dry, even though she just shed, I like to keep the humidity up a little bit more than it is right now. Okay guys, and that's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Make sure you keep an eye on the channel, because either next week or the week after, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So keep an eye out for that.